Then we went to Kenya at the beginning of October, and we end up in Tunisia 1 week ago, in fact, last week, for our regional summit. Every time we're doing like a regional summit, we do what we call a VC and conference. That's an event dedicated for investors. Then we do a founders bootcamp for our startup to make sure that we equip them to be able to pitch at the summit. And then we have the regional summit. So today, the reason why we're here is for the Open Innovation Challenge with Saint-Gobain. So as I say, Saint-Gobain contacted us in June because they were looking for an innovative solution to tackle their e-commerce and fintech challenge. So you can see the brief here. And what they were looking for is for startups that operate in Egypt, in Kenya, and in South Africa. So we covered the Egyptian markets in Tunisia, and we do have one winner that will come in Cape Town. We also, when we did the regional summit in Kenya, we were able to source one startup to also come into Cape Town, and now we're doing South Africa. So the winner today will be able to pitch our year-end events, and one of the 3 winners for the 3 different regions will be the winner of the Open Innovation Challenge. I just also wanted to remind everyone that in November, from the 16th and the 17th of November, we will have the Africa Arena Summit. So this is our end of year summit, the big summit. It will be held at the Old Biscuit Mill. So the tickets are available on Quicket. So I really invite you after this event to go and book your tickets. Cool, so that's me for the introduction. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to ask the judges to briefly introduce themselves, what they're doing, and then we will start with the pitching. So I'm handing over to you, Ndileka. Would you briefly introduce yourself to the panel?
Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Ndileka Zansi. I currently oversee French South African Tech Labs, and it is an incubation for early stage startup in the tech industry. Thank you, Bintu.
Great, thank you very much, Ndileka. We're very happy to have you in the session today. And the second judge is myself. So I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. So my name is Bintu. I'm the COO of Africa Arena, and I work with the amazing team, which is Emma, who's also here today, and she's helping with sourcing the startups and helping me with setting up the different events. And we also have Crosby today, who is in charge of the marketing. Cool, so now that you know the teams and the judges, we can get started with the different pitches. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and Emma can call on the startup.
Okay, so hi everyone, nice to see you face to face after exchanging some emails. So first we're gonna have Abella up. So Tom, I know you're here actually. Can you please share your screen?
Sure.
Great, we see it perfectly. So
cool.
As you might know, you have 4 minutes, so I'm gonna do the timer, and I'll just just try to make you a sign when you're out of time. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Just, let me know when to go.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say when you're ready, just start and I'll start the timer.
Awesome. I'm ready to go. Thanks very much. Right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom, and I'm one of the co-founders of Abella.app. Thank you for having me this afternoon, and I really look forward to telling you a little bit more about Abella. Millions of people in South Africa rely on cash as a significant portion of their monthly income. During the pandemic, a huge portion of these people saw incomes hurt by an unwillingness of the formal economy to carry cash. We got to see this firsthand during the height of lockdown, when we were actively discouraged by government and by banks not to carry or transact in cash at all. This has created an even bigger gap between the formal digital economy and the informal cash-based and almost forgotten one, a large part of which are foreign nationals. South Africa have over 4 million migrant workers with little or no access to any digital financial services at all. App is a mobile payments company building an ecosystem to enable people to digitally send, receive, use, and save their money, creating access to the most basic of financial services with nothing but a cell phone. Our total addressable market is over $4 billion a year. This is obviously a crazy number, and that's why we've tried to break down our target market into segments that we can strategically go after one group at a time. Over $1 billion alone was sent from South Africa back home to neighboring countries on the continent. And South Africa's informal economy makes up more than 18% of its annual GDP. We have worked extremely hard with a wide range of different partners to build a robust ecosystem that aims to give the informal economy the same financial autonomy and security that is given to the formal one. After having run a successful pilot and gathering tons of feedback from our early adopters, we realized that we needed to offer a wide range of services that would make our platform easy to use and intuitive for our customers. In 8 months, we've grown to over 35,000 customers, processed thousands of transactions, sold over 250,000 rands worth of value-added services, integrated a number of different remittance platforms and global utilities, and contracted a bank sponsorship with a South African recognized bank. Our business model is transactional. We make a small margin on every transaction that happens on our platform, resulting in approximately 2.8% on every single transaction. I'm Tom, and I have over 5 years experience managing impact projects for both fintech and RegTech businesses. My partner and CTO, Amri, has spent the greater part of the last decade building platforms for impact startups. Thanks very much, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Tom. So that was right in time. So I'm just going to hand the speech to the judges if they have any questions. So Bintu or Ndileka, please feel free to ask Tom any question you have.
I'll go. Thank you so much, Tom. The question that I have is, how are you marketing the platform?
Well, it's a good question. At the moment, we are very cautious about how we market the platform, considering the regulatory requirements that are involved in the kind of space that we're working in. We want to make sure that all our I's are crossed, or T's are crossed and I's are dotted before we really kind of launch this out to mass market. So at the beginning of the year, just to build some traction, we did a few campaigns and competitions around stuff like some football games and like a little lotto, etc., that saw us gain a lot of customers. But other than that, it's just been word of mouth so far. And we've really wanted to keep it that way until we're able to accept a wide range of customers and process the volume of transactions that we hope will come with a big customer base.
Thank you so much. Another question from me is that you mentioned that you're targeting informal market, the informal market. And the question is, with regards to illiteracy, how is the platform or the education on how to use the platform? What are you doing currently to educate those that you are onboarding on the system, those who are illiterate, or at least have basic education?
Again, it's a very good question, and that is really why a lot of what we build is reactive. So we try and get as much feedback as we can, and obviously we have very limited resources. So whenever we do kind of release a new feature or build something, it's got to be kind of exactly what our customers want. During this process, we've really found, firstly, smartphone penetration is extremely high, especially in South Africa, and people know how to use phones. They also, the services that we do offer are services that aren't foreign to them. Often you will see kind of, Android point of sale systems in sponsor shops, etc. And people, our customers seem to know how to transact on these platforms, and they know how to, buy airtime, get a PIN for electricity, send, and this is one of the really interesting things we find is that, and I mean, this question of literacy is a big one, but more importantly, I think going forward, a bigger focus for us is financial literacy. People know how to use products that are important to them, and they find a way, like they understand, not only know how to use, but also understand the kind of price discrimination that happens, that is seen with these products from different service providers, and they know how to source them, and they know how to make it work for them. So going forward, we consider kind of this idea of financial literacy and what it means to kind of have the autonomy to have your own sort of like digital wallet or savings mechanism much more important for us going forward.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I think time is up, except if you, Bintu, have one question.
Yes, I do have one question. Thank you very much, Tom, for the presentation. In terms of competition, can you tell us who are your competitors and what is your competitive advantage?
Sure. I mean, obviously, it's the space that we're playing in at the moment is extremely competitive. We understand very well that some of our biggest competitors lie with the banks themselves and the telcos, and we've seen how this plays out in other markets on the continent. Where we see our competitive advantage in South Africa is our interoperability. We are not scared, and we actually want to work with as many people as possible. We don't think that people should have access to more than one digital wallet. They should be able to send and receive money between them, use wallets for what works best for them. And we really think that there is a massive opportunity here. We think, even though this idea of like fintech and payments are kind of like a hot topic at the moment on the continent, we feel there's so much work to do. It's so far from being efficient and optimal. And we just are really excited to be able to kind of to learn as much as we can and to be in the ecosystem.
Great. Thank you very much for that. That's it for me.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, okay, you just stopped sharing your screen before I ask, so perfect. Next, we're gonna have Stallone, I believe, for A-Sheets Online. Stallone, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you
Great.
see me on video as well?
Yeah, perfectly. And I can see your screen as well, which is nice. So Stallone, we're gonna work the same. So I'm just gonna start my timer when you're ready, and you have 3 minutes.
All right. Connecting people to their essential needs digitally to improve their living experience. I will take you through how A-Shed Online is achieving this purpose. A-Shed Online launched over a year ago to close the gap of digital transformation faced by smallholder farmers and SMEs nationwide. The objective is to significantly increase the access to consumer market efficiently. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the need to close this gap. Regulations implemented to manage the spread of the virus have resulted in an e-commerce boom equating to a market opportunity of 255 billion over 5 years in South Africa. A-Shed Online is currently focused on connecting group buying customers such as grocery stockfiles and spaza shops to our marketplace. Our platform has connected farmers and other suppliers' products to over 64,000 website visitors, and we have delivered over 200 orders to their desired locations. We have also taken part in multiple events to educate agri-sector on the benefit of digitization. Based on consumer feedback and data analytics from platform visitors, we expanded the online product offerings to include fashion and beauty products. We have partnered with distributors of popular household brands to ensure favorable online prices for the group buying market. Combined with our growing farmers base and distribution partnerships, A-Shed Online will maintain a sustainable competitive advantage. Our short-term vision is to aggregate 60 group buying customers in the next 12 months. In the long run, we strive to emulate platforms such as Pinduoduo and Alibaba. This will take place while we continue improving our current journey for non-group buying consumers. In the next 18 months, we'll be onboarding group buying customers and introducing digital group buying functionalities. We'll also introduce augmented reality features for fashion and food items. Then we'll focus on digital wallet functions to target unbanked consumers. When we have invested over 600,000 in operations and capital expenditure, and an additional 19 million will be required to sustain our operations in the next 3 years. Our go-to-market plan for the next 12 months is focused on connecting group buying customers and additional agri associations. Ashet Online is led by Rufaro Rashirai and myself. Rufaro is in charge of operations and managing relationships with distributors and the Agri Association. I am in charge of business strategy and financial management. We are supported by a very capable team that are passionate to realize the long-term vision. At Ashet Online, we aim to continue improving people's lives by connecting them to their essential needs digitally and efficiently, a purpose we strive to stand by for the duration of our existence. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. I think that was very clear. So I'm just going to go back again to the judges, maybe starting with Beam 2, to see if they have any questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation, very clear, as Emma says. My first question will be, how much do you need to raise in order to go according to your plan? Yeah, if you can take us through that.
Sure, so we've broken down our plan on a 3-year phase. Within year 1, we would require to raise at least 2 million rand to cover our operations for year 1. And that would also include the sourcing of the augmented reality products, as well as the expansion into the group stock files. Furthermore, we'll need an additional 6 million in year 2 to expand our reach. That will include an internal team with a set of data analysts as well as administrators, and also to build on an executive team that can help us to expand the business. And year 3 then includes an additional 9 million, which really goes into the digital requirement of bringing the payment, the digital wallet platform on board.
Okay, great. And are you looking at expanding also outside of South Africa at some point?
Absolutely. And we've actually partnered with the African Agricultural Council that has an African footprint and is aiming to really connect all agricultural players within Africa. And that partnership is what would allow us to expand our services externally. And in fact, we are actually capable to do so today. We will just require that market to be open for us.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it for me.
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. First question is, where is your current customer base located?
In terms of the agri sector, our customer base is currently located nationwide, but with the bulk of the population based in Gauteng. As you would know, it being the economic hub, we've got the majority of the consumer base, and even from a digital transformation perspective, the customer base is in such a way that they are able to afford that technology. From a farmer's perspective, our supplier base is currently mainly based in Limpopo and Mpumalanga, and we're actually hoping to expand it into KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Free State, and the Western Cape. We really want to make sure that we capture that opportunity that comes with the wineries and the grape farms that you find in the Western Cape area.
Thank you so much. Second question is that you mentioned that you're working with group buying, and when you are expanding into clothing, how would that look like?
So what we know, so clothing and group buying, actually, when we were looking at group buying, we're looking to connect group buying with food rather. So a lot of group buyings, when we've had discussions with the stock files, I mean, some of our moms are part of them, they generally do a lot of group buying from a food perspective, sometimes when it's heading towards school starting, stationery. But when we looked at clothing, we're looking more at the fact that 64% of our website visitors are young females between the ages of 24 and 45, sorry, 24 and 45. And they would like a new experience on acquiring clothes online. And that's where the augmented reality aspect comes in, because you're now able to try on your clothes from the comfort of your home. And that's where our fashion focus really comes in. The group buying was really focused more on the clothing perspective. I mean, on the food perspective.
Thank you so much. That's all on my side.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you, judges, for the questions. So next we have Affluent 12, but I believe that's the startup that's still missing right now. So if I'm not mistaken, so we're going to go right to Joenki next, which is here for Kazi. Joenki, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I'll start sharing my screen just now. Okay.
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Very good. Okay, as for everyone, I'm gonna just start the timer, sorry, when you're ready. So you just tell me, let's go, and I go.
Okay, we can go now.
All right.
Hi, everyone. It all started when I was a child. Like many South Africans, I grew up in a township of Katlehong where Stokvels meant everything in a household. My mother and her friends used to save a lot of money for December occasions, mainly for buying groceries. But I also saw how Stokvel funds could be doing much more and be used to help communities in a much bigger and vital way. I introduce you to the LinkedIn of Stokvel members or South Africans. We provide online space for Stokvel members to connect and interact on our social media platform. There is no effective or trusted way for Stokvel members to find and transact with each other online. We spoke with some leaders of Stokvel Club and they concurred. They have no ways of keeping up with information, knowledge, and trends of the industry at the moment. Kasi Convocation is an expanding online directory based on Kasi Convocation is an expanding online directory that enables Stokvel members to connect with investors, financial institutions, and communities after signing up for a free account. Current estimates are there are over 820,000 Stokvels in the country, with a combined membership of over 12 million people, handling over 50 billion rand per annum. The total addressable market is at a value of 50 billion rand. Then the serviceable addressable market at a value of 20 billion rand, with a serviceable obtainable market at a value of 3 billion rand, which we aim to gain in a period of 3 years, or which in a period of 10 years of operations. Our key competitors are Facebook, Stokvel, VK, WhatsApp, Soup Africa, and Ioba App. So we are targeting a wide range of users and customers to use our platform. These include people who are involved and interested in Stokvel activities and individuals who are big users of social networks. So our traction is based on the research that we found or based on the research that we did about Stokvels and other companies. So it turns out that at the moment there's no platform for Stokvel members to connect. So at the moment it turns out that right now there's no platform for Stokvel members to connect and conduct their Stokvel business. Based on the research that we did on Stokvel, on Google, and articles we found on Google about Stokvels, it turns out there's a high demand of our services right now. Stokvels are regulated by the National Stokvel Association of South Africa, founded in 1988, and has been growing since then without showing any signs of limitations. And now it's on the verge of breaking through the 60 billion rand market value. Our business model is simple. We have two main sources of revenue streams, which is advertising and premium services from members. The company will be managed by me, who I will be handling all the operations with the team. I will be guided by a board of committee consisting of 2 mentors and two advisors, who have more than 50 years of experience combined in the industry. They all hold their patent and core tech. They all hold their patent on core technology upon which this market and industry is built on. One of our major goals of starting Kasi Convocation is to build a business that's going to survive off its own cash flow without the need of injecting finance from external sources once the business is officially running. We know that one of the ways of gaining approval and winning customers over is to offer our services a little bit cheaper than what is obtainable in the market, and we are well prepared to survive on lower profit margin for a while. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we are a bit over time, so we're just going to have time for one question. Is there one question maybe from Angelica?
You mentioned that this is the LinkedIn of social media. I think you, I just wanted to ask, is this a professional a platform, or is it a social platform?
So it's a professional platform, but as you know, that people will be using, maybe will be still using it for social purposes. Like when members come to the platform to do their business and network with other members who are in Stockfed activities, they'll be able to talk about everything in between the Stockfed activities.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Anki. Thank you very much, Angelica, for your question. We're gonna just go on to the next startup, which would be Derek from Jumpstarter. Derek, can you hear me? And can you share your screen, please?
Hello. Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I see it. So you know the rules. Just tell me when you're ready and I'll start the timer.
Okay. Okay. Jumpstarter is a reward-based crowdfunding portal that aims to link people with good ideas to people that like to see good ideas succeed. The simplest way for many to help a lot by helping a little. So almost everyone has at least one good idea. The challenge is sometimes to get the good idea, you need a cash injection implemented, and usual avenues are challenging. Even banks and institutions recognize the value of the idea, their protocols restrain them from financing it properly. So we've put a lot of research into is Jumpstarter crowdfunding viable in the developing world, and we are backed by the World Bank for saying yes. So the market is project providers and project donators or backers. The project providers are the originators of the idea that needs funding, whether it be a service, product expansion, you name it, that they want to implement. The project backers are those that provide the funds to get the new idea off the ground. So crowdfunding offers an easy solution for getting cash for ideas that seem too far out there or too risky for banks to consider. A simple concept. Jumpstarter offers the originator of the idea the opportunity and tools to present the idea to the masses, and if the masses like the idea, they'll fund it. So by the way of small individual donations combined, the crowd, the idea originator, receives the funds they need to get the idea off the ground. So a minimum viable product. So Jumpstarter crowdfunding is an excellent way to test this. It's cheap, it builds demand, it gives access to community, and it's a great starting point for raising more funds. The lean startup methodology. We've got a great tech and architecture background. We've got donation from Amazon Web Services. We've got a grant from Google and also YouTube and G Suite use. So that's working very well for us. So we operate as a non-profit facilitator for those looking to promote an idea and those looking to donate to one. So we act as a hub for like-minded entrepreneurs to help each other both financially and through positive criticism. So the go-to-market challenge that we have, which is obviously through the strategy and customer acquisition, we've got a range of different things that we've built up through our partnerships as well, which are working very well for us. So the key that sees us succeed is our status as an NPO. We've won 2 awards. We've been interviewed in 3 radio stations. We've got fantastic partnerships. And obviously we are growing daily, including a big spike from last year when COVID broke out. We've got a team of 3 directors, and we also have a pre-project advisory service who is a specialist helping people and tech projects as well. So the way that we get funding is obviously we charge for successful projects, 7% for a for-profit project, 5% for a non-profit, charity or school, and obviously we have outgoing funds and so on. Thank you. I welcome any questions.
Thank you very much. That was very clear as well. So I'm just we have plenty of time, so I'm gonna jump on to Bintu first. Do you have any questions, Bintu?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Derek, for the presentation. How do you manage the risk? Because if I understand correctly, you're going to provide funds, and the idea won't be all successful. So how do you manage the risk on your side?
We've got guidelines on firstly to kick off a project, it has to be moderated. So it's free for anyone to set up a project. We've got different steps that they have to take, which we've implemented before a project can even go live. So obviously you've got to see if they're a real person or that they're a real project. It's quite straightforward in black and white. And they need to follow the steps, like I said, in the guidelines. Once we see that everything has been put in correctly, then we have a release date, which we inform them with, and the next steps that they need to take. So this has obviously been refined since we went live, and obviously refined over the years as well, but that seems to be working quite well. And like I said, we had a spike in people, and we daily have 2 to 15 new project creators joining our site. So that's working quite well for us.
Okay, good. Thank you. And where are you operating? Where are your customers?
We're based in, well, our head office is based in Cape Town. We are specifically focusing on South Africa at the moment. We've got a lot of interest from other countries around Africa, but we don't yet want to go to the border. At the moment, we are transacting South African Rand funds at the moment. We've got a great merchant account, but we don't want to leave the country until everything is really moving well. And like I said, we sort of more aiming at the Series A funding. We were looking for a capitalization to get us to the next step. We've got a great arrangement of tools. We've got some good partnerships, and it's working well for us.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. That's it from me. Thanks.
Sure.
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. The first question you've answered was the vetting process. The next question that I have is, how do you manage the ratio between the number of startups and the number of funders?
Look, it really varies for what the project is about and how it's funding. So the key ingredient is you simply want to reach out. Once you obviously understand what the project is and how it should be processed correctly on our site to be released live, then you need to, the people who'd be supporting that, the backers, need to reach out to. So like I said, we've got a grant from Google. We've got quite a massive, we've got $10,000 monthly to do Google ads. So every project that goes live gets a free Google ads for the lifetime of their project. And that is obviously refined by us to specifically reach out to people who'd be interested to be involved or be connected to this actual project. So the ratio, look, once again, it's difficult to answer that question. It depends on what the project is about, and depends if it's something that is aimed at individuals or companies or products and so on. So it depends on how, we can advise them on how they should be reaching out, obviously through our systems, which will obviously be running live through our Google ads. Then, they obviously need to do a driver site. So we've got a whole sort of list in our guidelines as to exactly what they do when the project goes live. The steps that need to be taken to help us, we work with them to reach out to potential backers. I hope that sort of answers your question. It's a bit of a tricky one, but once again, it depends on what the project is about.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Any more questions?
No, I think we're done with question. Thank you very much, Derek, on your side. So yes, we're still missing one startup. It's fine. We're gonna have like a one-on-one call and just read. They're gonna take us through the pitch deck. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna share my screen once again. Give me 2 seconds. Cool, so thank you very much. So what we're going to do, the judges will fill the judging sheet. And then after that, we're just going to announce who's gonna be the winner. And as I say, the winner of today will have the opportunity to pitch at the Africa Arena Summit, which is going to take place on the 16th and the 17th of November against the Kenya's winner and the Egyptian one. So the tickets are available on Quicket. So I hope after this session, you're going to all run into the website and buy a ticket for the summit. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending. I wish you a very nice afternoon, and I hope to see you all at the Grand Summit. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Bintu. Take care, everyone.